This is the Shelly 1PM Mini Gen4 and it's the size of a coin. It switches 8 amps and unlike the cheaper one Mini, it measures exactly how much power your load is pulling. And that last part is the whole reason it exists. So it is the part people are suspicious of. Is that metering real hardware or a number the firmware makes up? You voted for this one after I opened the Shelly 1 Mini. So let's stop guessing and cut it open. I want you to know two things. How it measures power in a box this small and whether I would actually trust it behind the wall for the next 10 years. So no fluff, let's get inside of this one. But first, before we start, a huge thanks to Shelly for providing us with the switches so we can test them and do the teardown videos as well. And as always, all what you hear in the video is my honest opinion and my words. So nothing is instructed by Shelly. And they don't even know that I'm actually recording this video at the moment. So, and now let's see what we have inside of this one. As I have already opened the device, I'm not about to pretend I'm opening it to them right now, but just to know, there is no screws on this, and this is just 2-part plastic shell, and it's held together with the clips around the edge. So the same as one Mini. Okay, that's important. And there's the layout. So we have 2 boards, not one. The main board with the high voltage side, the terminals, power supply, relay, and the second board carrying the brain and the antenna. So it's the brain and the antenna. And the practical upside is real. So the switching current only travels a few millimeters of copper here. And the sensitive radio sits away from the noisy mains side, as you can see here. So whether that split is a deliberate design or just what fits in the footprint, I won't pretend to know. So, but it works out fine either way. They're joined by a pin header, and the solder work on live, neutral, output and switch. So output and switch are here, and neutral and live are here. Okay, so let's meet the brain of this device. But I have prepared also something for us here. And now let's see on the screen. Because a while ago, when I was recording the video regarding the Shelly 1 Mini Gen 3, we had problems with seeing exactly what's on the board. So I switched to this way, and now I can write on these images here. Okay, so the thing here is that I have 4 boards here prepared for you. So the same ones that we had on the desk in front of us. So in the first row, we have a Gen 3. So how do I know that? So just Gen 3. And because here we have these black input outputs. So generation 3 has black input outputs pins, and Gen 4 has gray ones. So this is Gen 4. And then let me just change the size of this brush. Okay. I think this is enough. Okay, it's better. Yeah, and the Gen 4, we have these devices here. So the first column here is one regular one, so one Mini, and the second one is PM. And how do I know that? Because if you take a closer look at this, here we don't have this chip from here, and the same goes here. And the differences here between these 2 boards are in this chip here. I'm gonna mention it very soon. And also just one more thing that is different here. So we can see that on the one Mini we have inputs, and we don't have it here, but we have something here that I'm gonna mention during the video. Okay, so let's change the board and let's take a look at our Gen 4 1PM Mini here. So the square chip here, okay, let me just clear that. Okay, the square chip here is is the processor. So it's marked ESP Shelly C68F, and it's a custom labeled part, but underneath it's an ESP32C6. And that's the one meaningful change from the Gen 3 1 Mini, which used an ESP32C3 here. And here's the difference that matters. So in one sentence, the C6 adds an 802.15.4 radio on chip, which is what lets this thing speak Zigbee. on top of the Wi-Fi and Bluetooth it already had. It's also Matter certified, so out of one chip you get Wi-Fi, Bluetooth for setup, Zigbee and Matter. In practice you pick your lane. So 5 presses of the button flips from its default Matter profile. So with the button, as said on the Shelly documentation, so 5 times you press it and you flip it from default Matter profile to Zigbee profile. And if you're on a Home Assistant or Zigbee hub, that flexibility is the actual reason to care about Gen 4. So it's not just a spec sheet bragging point. Okay, and yeah, the flash is still 8 megabytes, the same as on the Gen 3. So we're saying plainly the storage didn't get bigger and the radio got broader. So that's the upgrade here between the Gen 3 and Gen 4. And this squiggle in the copper is the antenna here. So as you can notice, and you already know. So there's no wire, no external stub. So just a PCB trace tuned to 2.4 gigahertz and sat on the edge of the board that faces out the wall. Okay, and that's about as good as you can do when the thing lives buried behind the plaster. So if the Wi-Fi struggles and that Bluetooth is still there, but for local setups. So nothing magic, just sensible placement here. And onto the motherboard. Before any of the smart stuff works, the device has to turn itself off the wall. So to take 110 to 240 volts AC to step it down about 3.3 volts. No room for a transformer this size, so it's uses a non-isolated switch mode supply, and you can follow it. Means in a rectifier to DC, and then small switch chip that chops that down to a low voltage. So we have these rectifier diodes here. Okay, and then the word that matters is non-isolated. So there is no transformer separating the low voltage electronics from the mains. So you treat the whole board as live. And it's a standard certified approach, but it's also why you never probe it powered. And it's exactly why Shelly is strict that switch input, this is the one here, must be fed from live, not neutral. So wire it right and it's safe, but wire it wrong and it's dangerous. That's the entire reason my don't install a Shelly 1PM without watching this video exists. So I'll put a link somewhere on the screen for that one as well. Okay, so this is the part we came for. The PM, the thing the plain one Mini doesn't have. So the measuring is done by this chip in the middle. So this is the chip in the middle. Okay, and it's called BL0942. A single phase energy metering IC from Shanghai Billing, if I pronounce it properly. And I have also specs for that one. Let me show you. Okay, just find it. Okay, so I just have to remove this writings. So this is the BL0942, and we have custom specs here. I'm gonna show you that. Okay, you can see the sheet layout and pinouts here of this device if you're curious about it. So it's a footprint and so on, and we have also the specs down below here, what is it and what it does. Okay, and there's a data sheet, and I believe this is interesting for you. So this is one thing to mention here regarding this device. And also I'm gonna back to the screen right now, and yeah, the chip is actually dedicated to a part that does one job. So it actually turns raw voltage and current into the real numbers. So, and it's a proper metering chip. Inside it, there are two separate analog to digital converters. So maybe you could see that on that screenshot. So one for voltage channel and one for a current channel. So feeding a little math engine. And datasheet accuracy is around 0.2%. So this is an estimate. It's a measurement instrument, the size of a grain of rice almost. Yeah, and that's the point with it. And it needs two inputs. So voltage is easy. A resistor divider scales the mains down to a level the chip can safely read. But current is the clever bit, and it's a real component you can point at. So see this chunky silver bar between live and output here, thermals. It's marked R85 here. And what is this? So this is the current says shunt. The R gives it away. It's a resistor, but just a deliberately tiny, precise one. So it's sitting directly in the path your load current takes. So it gets the load from here and takes it to the output here. And yeah, Ohm's law does the rest. So current through that shunt makes a tiny voltage across it, proportional to the current. So flow the two thin traces of this R85, and they run straight here to the BL0942's current pins. So that's the whole trick. The chip is reading millivolts across a metal bar and turning them into amps. And give it voltage and current, and it computes real watts, then totals them over the time into kilowatt hours, and streams that to the Shelly ESP32 over a serial link. So when your app shows live power, this is where the number is born. So real hardware measuring a real shunt, and that's a couple of dollars over the non-PM Mini. So this is the difference. And in a second, you will see it earns its base twice. So the switching itself, let me show you that part as well. Just remove this. Okay. The switching itself is black box here. Sorry. Yeah. This black box is a single pole normally open electromechanical relay, and the same relay Hongfa, and they put it on the Mini Gen3 and Gen4 as well. So I also prepared the specs for this one here, because most of you asked already for that in the previous videos. So I'm just gonna show you that. So let me remove this. Okay, and let's open this one. So this is the Hongfa HF32FAG/O12 HSL1, and this is the exact chip that I found in this device and just captured, so get the details about it. Okay, sorry. Yeah, here's the bigger picture of it, and you can see we have a wiring diagram, pinouts, and I like this footprint diagram. So what's interesting about this device is actually that is rated at 10 amps, not 8 amps. You can see here. Okay, but Shelly uses 8 amps here for this device. And now let's get back to the screen. Okay. Yep. So yeah, the relay is same as I mentioned in the one Mini Gen3 and Gen4. So if you're watched those teardowns, you met this part before. So ESP32 engineering energizes the coil of this this device here, and it snaps a contact shunt and does a click, and the current flows, and cut the signal as spring opens it. So that's the whole story about it. Now the rating is, that I already mentioned, worth getting right. So the HF32FA family is actually rated well above 8 amps at the contact itself. So why does Shelly rate the whole device at 8 amps at 240 volts? Yep, this is because the limit isn't the relay. It's everything around it. So PCB copper, the screw terminals, and the thermal headroom inside a sealed coin-size plastic case with nowhere for heat to go. So the relay could take more, the assembly can't. That's an important distinction. So don't look at the relay's own datasheet and assume you can push the device harder. So the device rating is the one that matters here. And let's be honest about what 8 amp is here. So 8 amp at 240 volts, that's roughly 1,900 watts. And at 120, it's under 1000. So lighting, fans, small appliances, they are fine. But a 3 kilowatt heater, no. I'd keep margin below the limit rather than leaving at it. And for anything heavy, switch a proper contactor with the Shelly and let the contactor carry the load. So mind in rush too. A big bank of LEDs. Drivers can hit the contacts far harder at switch on than their running current suggests. So 8 amps is a ceiling, not a target here for this device. And the protection lives on the back. So let's see about this. First, surge protection. And MOV. So its job is this blue disc here. Its job is to swallow spikes, a nearby lightning hit, or an inductive kick when the motor switches off. So it clamps everything above its threshold and takes the hit, so the rest of the board doesn't. Good to see one here. Okay, and right next to it, it's a fuse. This part here. So on the previous video, I made wrong, but today I'm fixing it. So it's a fusible resistor, about 1 amp safety fuse in a resistor style body. So at normals times it's just a resistor. On a serious fault, it burns and burns open and disconnects on purpose. So, but to be clear on what it protects, that's guarding the device's own supply, not your appliances. So your real hour current protector for the load is the breaker in your panel. So Shelly specifies characteristics B or C at 10 amps max, and they mean it. So that breaker is your defense against a dead short, not the one on this component here. And here's the part I like. The specs list overheating, hour current, and hour power protection. Overheating comes from an internal temperature resistor that drops the relay if it cooks. But hour current and hour power are firmware. And they're alive data from that BL0942. So the chip, let me just bring it back. So from this actually chip here. And the chip, and the chip even has a dedicated fast current output. You hear that? That's built specifically for hour current detection. So it's not just feeding your app graph. It's feeding the safety logic. So the plain 1 Mini is essentially blind to its load. So it doesn't know what's there, but while 1PM can see what's and react. So that's the metering earning its keep as a second time. It's not just marketing. It's maybe just actual silicon that's doing the things. So that's the part that matters when buying a 1PM instead of just 1 Mini. So would I trust this in my wall? Yes, with limits you have to respect. And the good, stated bluntly, the metering is legit. So the real BL0942 are reading a real shunt, and it makes the protection smarter as a bonus. The move to the C6 is worthwhile. You want Zigbee or Matter flexibility, and the build looks clean, and there's proper surge and supply side protection on board. So the caveats, just a plenty. Plainly, it's a non-isolated design, so correct wiring isn't optional. The 8 amp relay is hard ceiling, lights and small loads only, and contactor for anything bigger. And the onboard fuse protects the device, not your appliance. Your breaker does that job. And I'm more or less confident. Am I actually more or less confident after seeing the guts? A bit more. Nothing in there looks cheap or reckless for the price and size. The parts are match their job, and it's a well executed little device, as long as you use it for what it actually is rated for. And if that was useful, like and subscribe. There's a pile of devices on the bench waiting for the scalpel. Running one of these, pushed it near down its limit. Tell me below. And if you are about to install one, don't install a Shelly 1PM without watching this video next. Thank you for watching, and see you in the next one. Bye.